At this very moment, while your eyes scan these words, an unseen reality is unfolding all around you. Perhaps you don't notice it, but your home, the place where you seek rest, share moments with your family, and place your hope for better days, might be the silent battleground of a spiritual conflict growing stronger by the minute. Have you ever felt the atmosphere in your house grow heavier, as if the air thickens, conversations become tense, and the feeling of safety slips away gradually for no apparent reason? There are nights when sleep won't come, days when energy fades, conflicts that erupt out of nowhere, and financial setbacks when everything seemed stable. These signs, although common, are often overlooked or blamed on chance. However, they may be clear indications of a spiritual infiltration, not within your walls, but in the invisible atmosphere that surrounds everything. Few have understood these manifestations as deeply as Francesco Forgione, better known as Padre Pio, a man marked not only by miracles and extraordinary gifts, but by a rare ability, the power to see what human eyes cannot. He did not see only matter. He saw the spirit of homes, of people, of intentions. And what he saw led him to warn urgently. There are doors in our homes that don't protect, but invite. The front door, the one that lets in the morning light and lets out the hurried footsteps of daily life, is often the breach through which shadows enter uninvited. Padre Pio said the house is like fertile soil, but if left uncared for, it can be overtaken by invisible pests. And the most dangerous thing is that these spiritual pests do not appear with horns or smoke. They disguise themselves as constant bad moods, recurring illnesses without diagnosis, inexplicable failures, and feelings of oppression that linger for weeks. Over half a century ago, Padre Pio revealed to a close group of followers a truth few were ready to hear. He didn't speak of theories, but of visions received during deep prayer. According to him, invisible forces organize and circle around homes seeking access. And to his astonishment, in most of the homes he viewed in spirit, that access was completely open. Homes of good people who prayed, who attended church, but who didn't know how to properly close the spiritual entry. What he revealed was not an esoteric trick nor a secret from an ancient book. It was a teaching born from prayer, spiritual observation, and his life spent fighting directly against evil. Once, in a silent midnight hour, a young seminarian knocked on Padre Pio's cell after hearing disturbing sounds, as if a battle was being fought inside. When he opened the door, he saw the saint standing, pale-faced with closed eyes, as if in a trance. The air was filled with incense and ozone. On the floor were signs of struggle, the bed overturned, books scattered, and marks on the wall as if something had been thrown against it. When asked, Padre Pio only said, "The night was long, but the light won." The seminarian, confused, heard one more phrase before leaving. Houses without protection are like open windows during a storm. Everything inside gets soaked. And that was how the young man began to understand that the problem was not the evil outside, but the absence of real spiritual barriers inside homes. From then on, the teachings he began to share were kept in silence for decades, passed only to those willing to listen and practice, because it was not superstition, but protection that involved faith, action, and perseverance. Many came to him telling the same problems. "Padre, my family has no peace. Padre, I cannot sleep at home. Padre, our finances are sinking for no reason." Our Padre Pio's answer was almost always the same. "How is the entrance of your home? Is it protected or wide open?" His spiritual perception was so precise that, hearing a person's name and the city they lived in, he could describe in detail the energetic state of that family's home. A certain woman from a rural region came to him in tears, saying her children had constant nightmares and that she herself woke up every night feeling suffocated. Without knowing her, he said, "You have a mirror facing your front door. That is how the shadows are coming in." Shocked, the woman confirmed it was exactly there. Padre Pio then explained that badly placed objects, combined with the lack of blessings at the entrance, created an energy flow that attracted negative interference. He recommended not only removing the mirror, but also implementing a spiritual seal, a specific combination of sacred elements that would create an invisible barrier. This was the beginning of a method almost unknown today, but potentially key to transforming the spiritual environment of your home. If you feel your house needs a change, not just decoration or cleaning, but something deeper, a real spiritual purification, then you are in the right place. What will be revealed in the next minutes has the power to transform not only the environment around you, but the flow of the situations surrounding you. Padre Pio said, "Evil acts in silence, but light acts with presence." That is why, by activating the right elements with the correct intention, the atmosphere of your home changes, not by aesthetics, but by presence, not by symbolism, but by faith translated into action. The journey we will take together from now on is a rescue, the rescue of your home's sacredness. The recognition that the door you open every morning to go out into the world must, above all, be a shield against what tries to enter. You don't need to be an expert in spirituality or master complicated techniques. You only need willingness, faith, and attention to the details Padre Pio left so entire families could protect themselves in times when darkness grows bolder. What many do not know is that Padre Pio foresaw this time, a time when evil would come disguised more cunningly, when people would be so overwhelmed they wouldn't notice the invisible origin of their visible problems. That is exactly why you are here, reading this now. It is no coincidence. Perhaps your home is being called to become a refuge of light again, and the decision to start this change may be just one choice away. Since the moment you became aware of the unseen struggles that affect your home, it is essential to understand the profound role intention plays in spiritual protection. Padre Pio often emphasized that spiritual defenses are not built with mere objects or rituals, but with a heart aligned to divine purpose and unwavering faith. The simple act of preparing your home's entrance with sacred symbols is powerful only when accompanied by the right mindset, a conscious decision to invite light and expel darkness. Padre Pio's protective method centers around three sacred elements, each imbued with profound spiritual significance. The first is a small, blessed cross, a universal emblem of victory over evil and the highest divine protection. It symbolizes Christ's triumph and serves as a spiritual anchor for the home. The second element consists of branches of olive or palm, both representing peace, reconciliation, and divine blessing. These branches, when placed thoughtfully, act as a shield that disperses conflict and hostility before it enters. The third is holy water, a purifier and amplifier, which when sprinkled with intention, activates and strengthens the protective field created by the cross and branches. Alone, each element holds meaning, but together, arranged carefully and with prayerful intention, they form a spiritual seal, a sacred barrier against negative forces seeking entry. In the presence of these symbols, Padre Pio assured, spiritual sentinels, angels of light, take their positions as guardians of the threshold. These celestial beings cannot be seen by most, but their presence alters the atmosphere, making the home a sanctuary of peace. The saint taught that this protection works on multiple levels. Physically, you create a visible sign of faith. Energetically, you establish a field of positive vibrations that neutralizes negativity. And spiritually, you invite divine forces to watch over your family continuously. Implementation must be precise. The cross must be placed at the center and top of the doorframe, visibly asserting Christ's reign over the threshold. The olive or palm branches are arranged in a gentle arc around the cross, embracing the entry with a natural curvature that invites harmony. Holy water is sprinkled in a specific pattern, often forming an invisible arc over the doorway, sealing the protection. This sacred ritual is accompanied by a prayer taught by Padre Pio, a simple yet potent invocation that sanctifies the arrangement and calls forth divine blessing. By the cross of Christ, by the branch of peace, and by the water of life, I seal this door against all evil, that only light, peace, and blessing may pass this threshold. Amen. Reciting this prayer 3 times as you perform the sprinkling is essential to activating the full power of the seal. Padre Pio warned against common mistakes that nullify protection. The first is treating these objects as mere charms or decorations, neglecting the spiritual intention behind them. The second is focusing protection only inside the home, while neglecting entry points where spiritual breaches occur. The third, perhaps the most dangerous, is mixing symbols from different spiritual traditions without discernment, creating conflicting energies rather than harmony. True protection requires reverence, faith, and fidelity to the sacred instructions, not a patchwork of beliefs. Over the years, countless testimonies have emerged from those who followed Padre Pio's guidance. Families once torn by discord began to experience calm and communication blossoming anew. Financial difficulties that seemed insurmountable resolved in unexpected ways. Chronic illnesses improved without medical explanation. Children who once feared the night found peaceful sleep. The transformation began almost immediately, often within the first 3 days, as the home's atmosphere shifted from heaviness to lightness. Neighbors and visitors noticed a new warmth, a welcoming presence that could not be explained by furniture or cleaning. An extraordinary story from Naples illustrates the profound impact of this protection. A family in desperate distress sought Padre Pio's help. The father was unemployed for months, the mother suffered from a mysterious ailment, and their children were plagued by nightmares and unexplained illnesses. After the saint instructed them to prepare their front door with the sacred elements, everything began to change rapidly. The father received a better job offer, the mother's health improved, the children's sleep was restored. This miracle of restoration spread word across communities, and the secret that had been guarded for decades began to reach many homes in need. Padre Pio also identified 5 major spiritual dangers that exploit an unprotected door: residual negative energy brought unconsciously by visitors, open energy portals allowing disruptive entities to enter, energetic blockages that hinder prosperity, disruptive energy fields affecting physical and mental health, and intentionally directed negative energies or curses. Each manifests in daily life through unexplained quarrels, recurring financial setbacks, unexplained illnesses, and a pervasive sense of heaviness or oppression. Time is of the essence. Padre Pio foresaw an era of intensified spiritual attacks, warning that families will face challenges greater than ever before, making the knowledge of how to protect one's home vital. He urged that protection be renewed regularly. Olive branches replaced every 3 months to align with natural cycles, and holy water sprinkled monthly, ideally during the waxing moon, to amplify the shield's power. This sacred knowledge, once reserved for a select few, is now shared openly because the times demand it. Your home is more than a physical structure. It is a living spiritual field that reflects and influences your family's well-being. By embracing this protection, you are making a conscious choice to reclaim your sanctuary, inviting peace and blessing to reign where shadows once lurked. Before we continue, if you are finding this message meaningful, I invite you to take a moment to support the channel by subscribing and hitting the notification bell. But more than that, I'd love to hear from you. What feelings or experiences has this message stirred in your heart? Have you ever sensed something unseen affecting your home or family? Please share your thoughts or stories in the comments below. Your voice enriches this community and helps us all grow stronger together. As you continue to open your heart to this spiritual journey, it becomes clear that protecting your home is not a one-time event, but a continuous practice rooted in awareness and devotion. Padre Pio understood that spiritual battles are ongoing, like tides that ebb and flow, and thus the defenses must be maintained with care and intention. The power of the protection method lies not only in the physical arrangement of the sacred elements, but in the consistent renewal of faith and spiritual vigilance. Imagine your home as a fortress, standing firm amidst storms that rage both seen and unseen. The cross, olive or palm branches, and holy water are your fortifications, each playing a vital role in this sacred architecture. The cross stands as the banner of light, symbolizing ultimate victory over darkness. The branches weave a canopy of peace, soothing discord before it can take root. The holy water acts as a purifying river, washing away impurities and strengthening the shield. But beyond these symbols, it is your faith that breathes life into this defense. Padre Pio often emphasized that protection without faith is like a shield without a warrior. It is the intention behind every prayer, every placement, every act of devotion that activates the spiritual energy. Without this alignment, objects are just objects. With it, they become portals of grace. You might wonder, how do I cultivate this faith and intention? The answer lies in prayer, sincere, heartfelt, and repetitive. Padre Pio taught simple prayers that can be recited daily to reinforce the sacred seal on your home's threshold. The key is consistency, a deliberate habit of inviting divine presence and rejecting negativity. Even in moments of doubt, persistence in prayer builds spiritual resilience. Another powerful tool is the conscious practice of gratitude. A home infused with gratitude naturally repels negative energies. Gratitude shifts the spiritual atmosphere, attracting blessings and peace. Padre Pio often counseled his followers to find moments each day to thank God for protection, health, and provision, creating a spiritual climate inhospitable to darkness. This protection method is not about fear, but empowerment. It is about reclaiming your home as a sanctuary, a place where your family's physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being is nurtured. The barriers you set with sacred intention invite the presence of angels and divine light, pushing back shadows that would otherwise disturb your peace. Consider also how the habits and energy of those who enter your home influence its atmosphere. Padre Pio noted that visitors carry their own spiritual energies, some uplifting, others burdensome. This is why cleansing the threshold is critical. It acts as a filter, ensuring only positive energies pass through. The ritual of blessing and renewal also serves as a spiritual reset, clearing accumulated negativity that daily life can bring. As you integrate these teachings, you may notice subtle changes. Conversations that once escalated into conflict now resolve more peacefully. Financial pressures begin to ease, often accompanied by unexpected opportunities. Health issues may find surprising relief. These transformations are signs that the spiritual environment is shifting, that the invisible battles are being won. It is important to remember that this process requires patience. Spiritual healing and protection unfold in their own timing. Padre Pio's miracles were never instant flashes, but often gradual shifts born from persistent faith and divine grace. Likewise, your home's transformation may be subtle at first, growing stronger with each renewal of protection and prayer. To deepen your connection, you might consider keeping a spiritual journal, recording moments of peace, answered prayers, or shifts in family dynamics. This practice not only strengthens your faith, but also serves as a testament to the power of divine protection in your life. Padre Pio's legacy teaches us that the spiritual realm profoundly impacts our earthly existence. By embracing his method of protecting your home's entrance, you are not merely placing symbols on a door. You are opening a pathway for grace, peace, and divine guardianship. This is a sacred partnership between your faith and the heavenly forces that surround and protect you. In this moment of awakening, it is vital to acknowledge the role that each family member plays in maintaining the spiritual sanctity of the home. Padre Pio understood that protection is not a passive shield, but an active commitment shared by all who dwell within. The atmosphere of a home is a collective tapestry woven from thoughts, words, and deeds, each contributing to the spiritual vibration that either invites peace or chaos. One essential teaching from Padre Pio is the power of unity and forgiveness within the household. Discord, grudges, and unresolved conflicts create openings for negative energies to seep in. The protective seal on your door is strengthened exponentially when the family practices forgiveness and seeks harmony in daily interactions. The spiritual barrier is not only an external defense, but also reflects the internal state of hearts, united in love. Padre Pio also stressed the importance of regular prayer as a family. Gathering to pray not only invites divine presence, but aligns the collective spirit, fortifying the home's defenses. Whether through traditional prayers, spontaneous invocations, or moments of silent reflection, these acts cultivate an environment where darkness finds no foothold. Furthermore, the saint taught that the sacred elements used in protection are not just symbols, but conduits of grace. The Blessed Cross represents Christ's sacrifice, the olive or palm branches recall peace and victory, and holy water is the living source of purification. When these are combined with faith, they become living channels through which divine energy flows, creating a fortress of light. It is also crucial to be mindful of the energy carried by personal habits and objects within the home. Padre Pio advised caution with items that may attract or harbor negative vibrations, such as objects obtained through dubious means or influences from conflicting spiritual traditions. Clarity and simplicity in spiritual practice safeguard the home's harmony. As you implement this protection, be aware of the power of intention in daily actions. Small choices, speaking kindly, expressing gratitude, maintaining cleanliness, and fostering joy, contribute to an environment where positive energy flourishes. Padre Pio's teachings encourage mindfulness as a daily spiritual discipline that complements the physical protection at the door. In addition, the saint warned about cyclical periods of intensified spiritual activity, urging families to renew their protection regularly. These cycles, linked to natural rhythms and unseen spiritual currents, require vigilance. Renewing the blessing with holy water and replacing olive or palm branches keeps the protective seal strong and responsive to shifting energies. Stories from those who have embraced this path are testimonies of transformation. Many recount how long-standing family feuds softened, financial doors opened unexpectedly, health challenges eased, and a pervasive sense of calm settled in their homes. These changes, though sometimes gradual, underscore the profound connection between spiritual care and earthly well-being. Padre Pio's legacy is a call to reclaim the sacredness of your living space. By protecting your home's threshold with faith and sacred elements, you participate in an ancient battle, a battle for light, peace, and divine presence within your sanctuary. The simplicity of his method belies its profound power, accessible to all who seek it with sincerity. As you prepare to take these steps, know that you are joining countless others who have walked this path. Your home can become a beacon of light amid a world shadowed by uncertainty. With faith, intention, and action, you can transform your living space into a true refuge, a place where blessings abound and spiritual harmony reigns. Now that you fully understand the sacred method Padre Pio revealed to protect your home, it is time to transform this knowledge into concrete, lasting action. True transformation does not come from merely hearing or reading about these practices, but through faithful, consistent application. Spiritual protection of your home is a journey, not a single event, and every step you take strengthens the invisible shield that surrounds you and your loved ones. Begin by preparing your home's entrance exactly as Padre Pio instructed. Place the Blessed Cross at the center, atop your doorframe. Arrange the olive or palm branches in a gentle arc, embracing the cross, symbolizing the divine peace and protection that surrounds your threshold. Then sprinkle the holy water delicately, tracing an invisible arc over the doorway. As you perform these sacred gestures, recite the prayer with devotion, allowing each word to resonate deeply within your heart. By the cross of Christ, by the branch of peace, and by the water of life, I seal this door against all evil, that only light, peace, and blessing may pass this threshold. Amen. Repeat this prayer 3 times, trusting in the power these words carry. Yet the essence of this act transcends the physical. It is vital that your mind and spirit align with this intention. Visualize light entering your home, dispelling every shadow, strengthening family bonds, and creating a field of peace and harmony. The faith you place in this process activates the spiritual seal. Without faith, these symbols remain inert. With faith, they become powerful channels of protection. After the initial ritual, the work continues. Padre Pio taught that protection must be renewed regularly. Branches replaced every 3 months, ideally in harmony with natural seasonal changes, and holy water sprinkled monthly, preferably during the waxing moon, when energies are naturally expanding. This steady renewal creates a spiritual cycle of refreshment, keeping your home protected despite the shifting energies around you. Daily prayer and gratitude reinforce this invisible shield. Dedicate moments alone or with your family to thank for blessings received and to ask for continued peace and health in your home. Harmony within the household is one of the most potent defenses against negative influences. Practicing forgiveness and releasing old grievances open the door to renewed spiritual strength and prevent the buildup of harmful energies. Countless families who embraced Padre Pio's method share remarkable testimonies. Those who once faced financial crises, mysterious illnesses, family conflicts, and restless nights now live in renewed environments filled with peace and abundance. These outcomes are no coincidences. They are the fruits of spiritual stewardship and partnership with divine forces, guarding what you hold most dear. Remain vigilant to the energies brought by those who enter your home. While your protection acts as a filter, ongoing attention is needed to keep the atmosphere clear. Care for your own energy, avoid carrying toxic emotions indoors, and cultivate an environment filled with light, joy, and receptivity. This is your invitation to become the guardian of your home, a sanctuary where divine presence is constant and darkness has no foothold. Padre Pio, through his profound spiritual authority and life marked by unseen battles, bequeathed us a legacy accessible to all who seek it. Before closing, I warmly invite you to join our community. If this message has touched your heart and ignited hope for peace in your home, please subscribe to this channel. Together, we build a supportive space for sharing light, protection, and spiritual renewal. Your subscription is more than a click. It is a commitment to your transformation and that of those you love. And I want to hear from you. Share your experience in the comments. Tell us about the changes you've noticed, questions that have arisen, or blessings that have come your way. Your story might be the encouragement someone else needs to start their own journey. Together, we create a space of support and strength. Thank you for walking this path with us. May the protection you now know envelop your home like a mantle of light and peace. May Padre Pio's angels stand guard at every door and corner, and may divine blessings dwell permanently in your home and heart. Until we meet again with more messages that uplift and renew.